Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I'm Crash Rowsell. It's once again time to CrashTheSkylands with another marathon video here on the channel. I told you I'd be back on Wednesday. Come on now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is part 2 of a 3-part marathon that's going to be happening all this week. First episode was on Monday, next one's on Friday, and we are discussing some of my favorite videos over the last 10 years of CrashTheSkylands. For those who do not know, for the last 10 years I have been producing content on this channel. March of 2015 was when I made the channel. It's absolutely wild that it's March of 2025 and I'm still going strong and having an unbelievable fan base watching me on the regular. Even with my semi-retirement, it's still wild to see you guys pop up every now and then and see the comments and all that. And of course, I love seeing all the other SkyTubers thriving because, you know, I feel like I helped keep this community going, but it's now you guys who are keeping it going too. So it's awesome to see that there are some SkyTubers out there thriving throughout the community, and the last 10 years have proven that Skylanders is not dead. It's only dead unless we say it's dead. Remember that one from Skyland Boy and Grow Ran? That's not on any of these lists, don't you worry. It is a great video. You can go watch that one later on. But we're going to discuss some of my personal favorites. Now, if you looked at last Monday's video of the marathon, you're going to see some amazing choices, just saying. But I think these next set of videos are probably got a little piece of my heart for sure, because we're going to start off with, hands down, my favorite opening I've ever done in every ranked. You know how I always do the picture jumping around and all that? I contemplated for a long time getting rid of that, just for a fun fact. After every spiral level ranked, I was actually going to switch it over to a different kind of video, but it just didn't feel right, so I kept it around. But every racetrack ranks intro, just for the opening line alone, is hands down my favorite intro I've ever done. Now, all of them are great, don't worry. Every single one I've ever done has been fantastic, and I love sitting there screaming at you guys, telling them to respect me, acknowledge me. You know, I'm a wrestling fan, fun fact. But you guys know that, I make the Rumble every year. But regardless, this one here has a big place in my heart because the intro is so great. Plus, it took my favorite part of Superchargers, yeah, that's right, I said it, the racetracks, and I got to rank them from worst to best. So let's get right into it with every racetrack ranked from worst to best. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. As a fan of racing games, you can say I'm kind of a racist. Wait, no, who wrote that? As a fan of racing games, you can say I'm a racing novice. Superchargers' announcement made me excited as I had an opportunity to play one of my favorite franchises with a nice new twist. Giving us 12 unique tracks, 4 each for each vehicle type, there's something for everyone. It's basically a fast food restaurant, and now I'm hungry. Good job, me. Today, I'm taking all the tracks and giving my opinions of them, then I'm heading straight to McDonald's. As always, I'm Crash Rowsell from CrashTheSkylands, and this is every Superchargers racetrack ranked from worst to best. But before we begin, even though I look very homeless right now, this is my home, and in our home, we respect opinions. So that means if you have an opinion, as long as you're respectful to my opinion, we'll be respectful to you. And that sounds pretty fair to me. So how about I pour you guys up a cup of coffee, and we'll hop right back into the video there. Number 12, Mystical Vault. The constantly changing tracks do more bad than good, and if you're on a track when it changes, it will mess up your entire race. I've lost this race too many times on hard due to the changing tracks. Number 11, the Clock Rock. The concept is cool but poorly executed. The multi-branching paths don't make it easier or harder to progress through the track, and it's very easy to be overtaken with the many hidden shortcuts that all the other racers obviously know. Number 10, Calamity Canyon. This is the only level that can use a few improvements to make it better. The overall feel of the track is off, and it shows as you can easily make a mistake multiple times that will cost you. Number 9, Tropic Plunder. Visually stunning but lacking on the actual racing side, the multiple paths to take don't change much, which makes me want to do the same path over and over since I know I'll get the win. At least it looks pretty. Number 8, Cloud Factory. From calm to crazy in only seconds, this track is unique compared to the other tracks, but just like Tropic Plunder, if you stick to one path, you're guaranteed to win every time, which is never a good thing. Number 7, Cluck's Cuckoo Nest. As you can tell, I'm not a fan of the flying tracks, but this one is one I'll repeatedly play.
However, it does get repetitive, making a replay of this track not the greatest, but still the best flying track overall. Number 6, Temple of Arcus. They never expect the stone monkey. The best addition to this track, except the part when you fly past all of them with no momentum or speed increase or decrease. That part is long and basically useless, but the rest of the track is great. Number 5, the Golden Temple. Themed like a movie, this track is a great track to face off against your friends. It's the correct length and increases in difficulty in every lap. The only reason it isn't higher is the first part of the track is basically a guessing game that is never right or wrong. Number 4, Dragon Spine. Just a basic, fun, and creative track in the game, this one is a great introduction track to anyone new to the racing part of the series. This is a good competitive track to get the challenge going and get people wanting to try more. Number 3, Chompy Garden. The most unique track, as you shrink down to smaller than Chompy size, you race through a garden and see things you can never see in your normal size. If you ever needed a reason to try the racing part of Superchargers, this is it. Number 2, Frozen Fossil Festival. The only point-to-point track in the game and hands down the best C track, this track is visually stunning and always has a new way for you to finish the track with great times. The only track that I could play multiple times and find something new every time. Number 1, The After Party. I named a past series on the channel after this track because I enjoy it so much. The creativity of this level and the multi-track options make this the most fun yet stressful level, as at any point you can overtake anyone and they can overtake you. This also gets the number 1 spot because of the super cool piñatas in the foreground. And that's my list. What track would you put as number 1? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, check the description for more awesome Skylander content from a ton of other awesome SkyTubers. But as always, I bid you farewell.
I love that one. The intro itself is enough to make me really happy. That's one thing I love so much. But one thing I love also is Easter eggs. And not just the little ones you get from the store and you go hunting for them every year. Maggie actually hunts Easter eggs every year, just saying we put little fish treats in those crackable eggs, you know, the ones you snap open, and she legit runs around and grabs them, cracks them open, and eats the treats. It's really, really cute. But one thing I love is Easter eggs in video games. I love going away and going, oh, that's an Easter egg. It's probably my most annoying habit, along for saying, hey, he used to be in How I Met Your Mother. Oh, that girl was in How I Met Your Mother. But one thing I love about Skylanders is there's so many Easter eggs. And not only are Skylanders referencing in other games, but Skylanders themselves have so many Easter eggs too. And the one thing I love so much about these Easter eggs is the fact that I can get a little bit creative too. Just saying, you know. Dark Wildfire was jumping around everywhere. Did you even see him back there? That's pretty good, right? And that's the only Easter egg that happened in the video. It's wild. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the top 5 Easter eggs in Skylanders. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I am Crash Rowsell, and it's once again time to CrashTheSkylands with another top 5 video. Happy Easter, everybody. Even if you don't celebrate it, I hope you guys are having a great holiday season. I know there's different reasons of this season, but one of the biggest things about Easter is the Easter eggs. That's right. Easter's probably one of my favorite seasons, actually, because all of your favorite candy gets re-released in egg form, and honestly, eggs are easier to eat. I don't know if you remember a few years ago, I did a sheep creep video where I ate my own sheep creep, and I walked around saying, eggs, eggs, eggs. That's real. I love eggs. My favorite eggs, though, are Easter eggs. And not just the sweet decadent chocolate ones or the Cadbury cream eggs, to be precise. Just saying, they're probably my favorite. Actually, no, I do like a Reese egg, too. You know. Anyways, off topic. Easter eggs in video games are one of my favorite things. There's many times that I went out of my way to find Easter eggs in games. I remember one of the first ever Easter eggs I've ever discovered was in Assassin's Creed 2, and not too long ago I actually played the Ezio collection, so I got to redo that Easter egg and show my girlfriend and say, this was the first ever Easter egg I found of the Kraken. If you know, you know. I remember also in Saints Row 2 going out of my way and following the arrows to eventually find the giant teddy bear. Super cool. Easter eggs have always been a great thing, and Skylanders does not miss out on that boat, because today these are my top 5 Easter eggs. Hey look, it has words. So this is my personal list, meaning that there's probably some Easter eggs here that you might not have known of, or ones that you think is better, but I think these 5 Easter eggs are pretty good. And number 1, very special to me because from looking all over the internet, I may be the only one who's discovered this. So stick around for that one and pay close attention because this Easter egg video, you gotta look real close to make sure you notice something might be happening. So let's waste no more time. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited about this one. Well, obviously at the end of the video, let me know your favorite Easter egg too. But we'll discuss that later. But for now, let's hop right in to number 5. So at number 5, in the level Falling Forest, there's actually a story scroll you can get that not only references giants in the next game, but actually mentions Easter eggs, well, elements, coming up in a future game. So take a look.
Today there are dozens of brave Skylanders, and in the past, hundreds more. But the most powerful of all Skylanders were the Elder Elementals. These giants possessed powers of light and darkness within their flesh. No one has seen an Elder Elemental in centuries, but there are rumors that they will return someday.
It's wild to think that only 4 years later, we would get the actual elements mentioned, the light and dark element, in Trap Team. And they've had a couple weird Skylanders since. But it's pretty interesting that from the first game all the way up to then, they always knew that this could be something bigger. So pretty cool they reference giants, but even cooler that they reference the light and dark elements. And number 4, this one's more of a personal Easter egg just because you guys know my love for Superchargers. But in the Golden Arcade and Imaginators, after you're done doing the minigames with Sal, he gives you a very special prize. So let's take a look.
Told you that you would win a prize.
So for those of you strictly uneducated, you may not notice, but this is the spin chest from Superchargers. Yes, the best game in the franchise, just saying. So it's pretty cool that they gave this to you, especially since the whole level is kind of like a casino vibe anyways. Yeah, for the guy who loves Superchargers, you know I had to throw this reference in there somewhere. So that's definitely my favorite pick for an Easter egg at number 4. So at number 3, this is one I can technically say is a Superchargers reference, but it's actually a reference to the 3DS version of Swap Force. Yeah. Did you know that Count Moneybone originally was in Swap Force before it was in Superchargers on the console? Yeah. You might not believe it, but there's proof. Let's take a look.
The bitter taste of defeat at the hands of chaos! Ha! Double Renegans! You've all been cast into the never-ending pit of colossal defeat.
Now, if you're like me and never actually played the 3DS games, this one is actually an Easter egg that you kind of missed because you just assumed, oh, they just gave you a heads up for a debut that's happening in Superchargers, yet he was actually already in the game. So it's pretty interesting they hinted towards a character that would debut a couple years later, even though he was already around. But for real, this is a pretty good Easter egg for number 3. For number 2, this one is actually one of my favorite Easter eggs for sure. Probably in any video game, to be honest. In the second level of Giants, right after you grab the music player for Flynn, you end up going to one more area. Before you leave the ship and try to find Auric, talk to Flynn, because he gives you a pretty loony Easter egg.
So the onboard nav system now says we're in some place called Albuquerque. We're definitely gonna need that compass.
So if you don't understand this one, this is a very popular reference to Bugs Bunny from the Looney Tunes cartoons. He always ends up taking a wrong turn at Albuquerque. It's kind of a running joke on the show.
I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
I actually didn't hear this Easter egg until I was older, so it was kind of funny when I first heard it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Bugs Bunny! So if you're younger and don't really recognize it, it's fully understandable, but for me, this Easter egg is definitely one of the best ones in Skylanders. And here we are at number 1, the Easter egg supposedly I discovered. Well, in Trap Team, there's an enemy that sounds very much like an enemy from the original Spyro game. And the first time I heard it, I recognized that voice everywhere. Because, well, if you're a big fan of Spyro like me, it's one sound you're never going to get out of your head. So, first, let's listen to the original clip from Trap Team. So if you listen close to the Bruiser Cruiser, if you didn't, just go back a couple seconds and listen again, because listen close to this next enemy, the Kamikaze Tribesman Nork from Spyro, which I discovered researching this video. That's the name of it. So learned a lot of things researching this one. To me, those two sound identical. It's wild how perfectly they sound to each other. And I know it's a very obscure reference, but if you're a fan of Spyro, as I said, like myself, or if you know you've been following along with Spyro and Trap Team, it's a very much an Easter egg that is very believable. And I won't be surprised if they did take a soundbite from both, or the enemy was encouraged by the sound. So for me, this is definitely one of my favorite Easter eggs. Even if it is an Easter egg, I still think it's fantastic. It's also up there with Jetvac in Ring of Heroes, had a move called Shoot the Breeze, very similar to Shootin' the Breeze with me and Jap's old podcast thing. But that's not really an Easter egg, as we found out this is an actual move he has. But that does it for the Easter eggs. Well, that's definitely my number one for the best Easter eggs in Spyro. Spyro, Skylanders. Technically, it could be a Spyro Easter egg too, I'm not sure. Regardless, best Easter eggs in Skylanders. And that's going to do it for my top 5 Easter eggs in Skylanders. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know your favorite Easter egg in the comments below. And of course, if there's any Easter eggs I missed or anything that you think might be an Easter egg from Skylanders that leads to another game or something to do in Skylanders itself. But I really think that these 5 Easter eggs are one of my favorites. Now, the big question is, did you figure out what Easter egg was happening the whole time in this video? I know, it was probably very obscure, but if you look real close, Dark Wildfire was jumping around the set the entire time. Yeah, I can't believe that was the only Easter egg in the entire video. If you guys enjoyed, let me know, leave a like and a comment below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Y'all mean the world to me, don't ever forget it. But as always, I bid you farewell. So I may have said this before, but I actually recorded that video years ago. So before I made the video here, literally years and years back at my old place that I made when I talked about last video with the growing on Terrafin, that house I lived in for a long time, I actually recorded that video there, and then I deleted it, because that was when I was thinking about giving up the channel. Yeah, if you watch 6 Facts About CrashTheSkylands, you know that. But I actually had that video done, recorded, edited, and I deleted it. And then the spiritual successor, like 5 years later, decided to rear its head, and I kept the same exact joke, except I did Dark Wildfire jumping around instead of regular Wildfire. That was the only difference, because I don't think I had regular Wildfire at that time. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue on the Easter trend and go to one of my favorite videos I've ever done. If someone asks me, Crash, what is your #1 video you have ever done, or what's one thing you want to show me that you're really proud of? It's Eat Your Own Sheep Creep. I worked really hard on that video. I put a lot of editing into it, and I think it turned out unbelievably well. It's hands down my favorite video I've ever done, and I'm saying that with utmost confidence right in the middle of the marathon, that out of every single video you're watching today, this is my #1 favorite. So right now, let's enjoy Eat Your Own Sheep Creep.
Greetings, fellow Poltermasters.
Eggs. Eggs, eggs, eggs. Eggs. Eggs, eggs, eggs. Eggs, eggs. Eggies in my mouth. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I am Rowsell, and once again time to CrashTheSkylands with another episode of the Clickbait series. Happy Easter, everybody. You don't know tomorrow is Easter Sunday. It's currently Saturday. Good Friday was yesterday. Hope you enjoyed that solo run episode. But today, I decided to do an Easter episode and shout out your boy Easter. Good job, Easter. Good job being Easter. And today I decided to do something a little special. Of course, the Clickbait series, if you don't know, is a series where I take a certain object and mold it into the Skylander community. You've seen previous episodes where I grew my own made my own, was it grow or made? Made my own tri-tip, folded my own hoot loop not too long ago, grew my own terrafin a lot, and grew my own Imagina crystals. Pretty cool. You should go back and watch that. I think I should have a playlist of that. I'm probably going to make a playlist. Today, you've already seen the title, we're going to be eating sheep creep. No, I did not get a rotisserie lamb. They're very expensive. I was looking into it. They're really expensive. And then you need mint jelly with it. Like, no, I don't want any jelly with it. If I'm going to have jelly, I'm going to have peanut butter and jelly. I was at my recent dollar store, the one that's now still open, and found this sheep. It's a 3D marshmallow sheep. Isn't that sick? Now, of course, the only issue with that is that he's not white or he's not black like sheep creep, but I think this is pretty similar. So today we are going to eat him. But no seriousness, we're going to eat this sheep creep here now. Now the thing is, he's made of marshmallow. He's 100% marshmallow, so there's no way I'm going to be able to eat this without something to drink with it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. My throat's already dry to begin with. So I'm going to quickly grab something to drink, and then we're going to come back and eat him.
2 hours later.
I didn't take it out of the box. Did you take it out of the box?
Hello, Crash.
Did you just speak to me?
Did you think I couldn't hear you? You're going to try to eat me, are you not?
How are you talking right now?
What makes you think I will allow that? You do remember who I am, right? I am Sheep Creep, the first villain in Trap Team, and one of the most powerful. I have guns on my back, and an even bigger fan base, who loves me. I am an actual god in the Skylander community. I will stop you from doing this. You do not have a chance against me. You will be stopped and punished for your wrongdoing. I will defeat you before you get the chance. You are pathetic. You are finished. You are worthless. I will take you down. I will end your career. You are done.
Okay. Oh, okay. It was just a dream. Okay. Oh my God. It was just a dream. It was just a dream. Okay. There's no marshmallow sheep out to kill me. Okay, good. Okay. Oh. Basically, I'm just really proud of that one because I had an idea in my head and it executed perfectly. There was no flaws, no issues, everything went together great. The outro was great with Maggie sitting there not wanting to look at me eating. Just like, this is pretty good, it's not bad. I've never seen that marshmallow sheep ever again at the dollar store. So, yeah. I also love the video of eggs. I still do that now. I still, whenever we're making eggs, I'll walk around with eggs. And like, of course the fiance doesn't know what it means. She don't watch my videos, come on now. She participates in the Rumble, but that's it. But I do like a lot of fun on the channel, but we also like to get really serious on the channel. I mentioned last video that I did a lot of research for the Every Game Ranked video. And one of the things that was popping up for a long time, only last year, was the fact that Skylanders your characters are going to be dying soon. And I've seen so much information online, misinformation online, and so many actual information, and it was hard to tell which from which. And I said to myself, you know what I need to do? I need to make sure that not only do I know this is correct, but I want everyone to have the right information. Because Portal Master used to be the guy who made all the information. And he would have made an amazing in-depth video about how your figures were not going to die anytime soon. But he's not around anymore. So I took it upon myself to do it myself. And I did an amazing video in my opinion. It was edited really well with a lot of information. A lot of you guys in the comments gave me little odds and ends too. A lot of people didn't know certain things. The Sunlight one really surprised me. But it makes sense. It's literally a chip and it'll fry the internals. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, your Skylanders aren't dying, and that's the next video in our marathon.
Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I am Rowsell, and it's once again time to crash the Skylands with this very important video regarding how your Skylander figures are not going to die out anytime soon. After a ton of research online and seeing comments literally everywhere, I decided to make this video to ease your minds, and my own for that matter. Today we will discuss the lifespan of the NFC chips inside the Skylander and ways to help you from making them give out faster than normal. The general lifespan of an NFC chip is about 10 years, depending on how they're used. Skylander's NFC chips from Spyro's Adventure and Giants are those chips. However, this doesn't mean those chips will die out anytime soon. Think about it. If they only have a lifespan of 10 years, I wouldn't have been able to play as any characters from Spyro's Adventure and Giants during Odyssey Half Hour. Heck, even some of the Swap Force characters should have been dying out by then. Some NFC chips actually don't have a battery in them, unlike what I believed. The majority of them are powered by the reader you're using it on. NFC chips, depending on the make and model, can last over 20 years with the proper care. The more you use the character attached to your NFC chips, the lower those years drops, but not by a lot at all. If you used a figure once a day, it would take literally over 20 years for them to actually stop working. Even then, they still may work. However, this is not 100% true either. Whenever a character is placed on the portal, its chip is kind of rewritten and basically used twice. The good news about this, however, is most NFC chips have over 10,000 uses minimum. The older Skylanders from Spyro's Adventure and Giants have these chips, but luckily they are good quality and have the minimum of them regardless of use. The newer ones have almost 100,000 uses in them before they might give out. You could technically be playing with the Imaginators for the next 30 years. Oof, the thought of me being able to play as Bad Juju in 2053 is terrifying, however. So if you're sitting there wondering if your NFC chips are on their way at any time soon and you can't play as your favorite character in the near future, fear not. People on the internet can provide false info to scare you, sometimes for the fun of it, and unfortunately most people believe it without having some research first. Exhibit A being yours truly right here. Luckily, a few tips and tricks can help your figures last as long as they can. The biggest one I discovered is keeping them out of direct sunlight. I had no clue that exposing them to sunlight can affect the chip itself, so make sure the sun doesn't go directly on them. Whoops to my entire setup then. Also, water and chemicals can affect them too, so be careful when you clean them or around them. So, long story short, you don't have to worry about not being able to play as Drobot anytime soon. As long as you don't rapidly place him on the portal over 10,000 times in one sitting, you should be fine. And no, I won't be doing a Crash is Curious episode trying that. Do it on your own time. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something new today, and if you already knew this, good for you! Why didn't you tell me sooner? But as always, I bid you farewell.
You want to know some great information though? How many Skylanders are named Bash? Yeah, we're in the April Fool's section of the video again. I absolutely love my April Fool's Day videos. I'm just going to say it. I'm coming out and say it. I'm not going to fight it. I absolutely love my April Fool's Day videos. I think they go over really well. I think they're really well put together. They're very creative. And this one is probably one of the best because I uploaded 3 April Fool's Day videos that year, and this is the one that still sticks in everyone's minds. Do you remember the other 2? Yeah, it was the one where I said a new character was adding to Ring of Heroes, and it was Michelle Obama. Yeah. And there was also, wait, what was the other one? Was the other one, I think the other one was I spent how much? And it was literally just a empty screen for about 10 minutes and me come back saying I couldn't find my, or I was going to buy it and I was like, oh, I ran out of time. I think that was the same one. But this one was definitely my favorite. So right now, it's a short one, but it's really well put together for what it is. Plus the Jap reference is really good. Yeah. Or Pokey Pot Fin, sorry. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it with every Skylander named Bash ranked from worst to best.
Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I rack my brain every month trying to rank Skylanders from worst to best, yet, according to some of you, I still get it wrong, even though it's my own opinion. After trying so hard to figure out what to base my next ranking video on, I thought of an easy way out and how I can never disappoint anyone again. Why not rank one single Skylander and nothing else? It's a genius idea if I say so myself. If you don't somehow know, Bash is my all-time favorite Skylander. The perfect mix of everything, he's universally liked by the Skylander community, and I think a perfect one to start off my new style of lists. As always, I'm Rowsell from CrashTheSkylands, and this is every character named Bash ranked from worst to best. But as always, this is my personal list, meaning I'm going to say stuff you're probably not going to agree with, because that's the joy of the internet. We all have opinions, but most of them are wrong. So probably mine are going to be mostly wrong to you. So leave your opinions in the comments below, and as long as you respect me, I'll respect you. That's the honest rule of this channel, and honestly, I think that is a pretty good thing. Let's hop right back to the video. Number 1, Bash. Speed? Check. Strength? Check. Design? The coolest. Bash is probably the only Skylander that is properly named. As he was created just to destroy and have fun, I don't think I could have related to a Skylander more. And that's my list. Who do you think deserves number 1? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, how about checking out the description for something pretty funny? But for now, I bid you farewell.
Okay, I don't want to deprive you of a really good April Fool's Day video, even though that one is fantastic. But I did an April Fool's video not too long ago, only 2 years ago now, where I talked about the Toys to Life game. And I ranked every one of them. Or my top 5, actually. I ranked the top 5 ones. And I don't know what people were thinking. I don't think they realized it was April Fool's Day. I honestly don't think so. Because the number 1 video, the number 1 legit threw people off. This was the one April Fool's where I didn't want to go like hardcore in the paint with April Fool's. I wanted to just have a little bit of humor mixed in, but a little bit of, you know, haha type thing. But it was enough to intrigue people. And plus, people didn't know that game was real. Ellie's Enchanted Garden. Oh, I spoiled number 1. That's fine, you've seen it already. Let's get right into the top 5 Toys to Life games.
Greetings, fellow Poltermasters.
Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I'm Rowsell, and it's once again time to CrashTheSkylands with another top 5 video. This one's going to be a little bit special because it's something I feel like I haven't went into a lot of depth with on this channel, and it's something I do enjoy. I've actually played a handful of the games I'm going to be talking about today, especially one very special one at the end. No spoilers or anything. But if you guys didn't know, it's not as popular as it used to be. It still has little nicks and crannies of it. There was a series about taking physical figurines and using them in a video game. So you would collect stuff in real life and then use them in your video game, which is really cool. Amiibos are probably the most popular one. Almost every single person knows about Nintendo Amiibos. You can use them in all of your current and old Nintendo games, from like the Wii U all the way up to the Switch. I say that like there's more, well, there's the new 3DS and that little thing you can get with it. But there's so many of these games out there and so many different franchises and all that. And of course there's some really popular ones, but there are some that are near and dear to my heart. So today, I'm going to discuss something I don't think I've ever talked about before, my top 5 Toys to Life games. So as I mentioned, a Toys to Life game is where you buy a physical product and you can play with it in the game. It's literally like this little figurine you can put onto this thing that comes with it and use it in-game. And that's what I'm going to be going with. So everything I talk about today, the only way to play these games is to use these actual physical figurines. So this isn't something where you can buy the game, but then you can, just play it, whatever. Now, for number 5, it'll be a little bit of an exception. You'll understand why when I describe it, because there is kind of a couple aspects to it. But overall, the biggest thing is there's no way you can actually play these games unless you have these figurines. So that's my only real segue about it. And I also want to give a big shout out to a pirate game, Captain Redbeard. One of the first ever Toys to Life game. If you guys didn't know that, when I was researching games, I found that one out. So if you want to go check out that one, that's very old, but is enjoyable anyways. So ladies and gentlemen, let's waste no more time and hop right in to number 5.
You think the newest game that tried to restore people's love for Toys to Life games would get higher on the list, but the fact that you don't even need to buy the actual toys to get the full experience is heartbreaking. If I can go to an online store and download a deluxe edition of a game without having to buy a single toy in real life, that defeats the purpose of Toys to Life and the collecting aspect of the figures. They even had an exclusive figure with Nintendo games with Star Fox and the Arwing, yet we could still buy the digital version of the Switch store and get that character and ship. It's the reason this game didn't do well, and that's the main reason. Even though this game gets so much flack from the Animal Crossing community, this game is insanely fun and gave you a reason to buy all those figures for clearance at GameStop for $5 a figure. They go for so much now since Animal Crossing New Horizons has been released, so it's totally worth getting them right away and playing the actual game they originated from. They also released Amiibo cards, which is a great concept for any kind of Toys to Life game. However, that doesn't make it a toy. Whatever though, as you can play a more laid-back Mario Party that most people think is the reason the Wii U didn't do as well as it should have. They might not be truly wrong, no matter how much I want to deny it. Even though I hated how Disney Infinity forced you to play as characters in a world they came from and nobody else, that is the aspect of Toys to Life in a nutshell. I would have loved to have Mr. Incredible running around Pirates of the Caribbean, but it made sense to collect every character from each world. So many Disney characters were introduced along with Star Wars and Marvel once they were bought by Disney, giving you so many worlds and choices to play as throughout their time. With 3 games in the series, they had a ton of opportunities to improve on the game, but since it doesn't exist anymore, there is a reason why it's here on the list. It's the first thing I said. That's the main reason why. Now this is the game you want to play to have a blast with a huge variety of characters from so many different franchises. LEGO Dimensions had a main story that focuses on Batman, Wildstar from the LEGO Movie, and Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings, fighting enemies from all kinds of franchises, but the coolest thing was getting characters from shows like Adventure Time, Ninjago, and even Doctor Who, which you get to build in-game and in real life, along with adventure packs which had extra things to build that add to the story of the adventure pack, but the fact you can switch to any character at any time to finish the level is perfect. It gives you a reason to collect every character and get every bonus item with the characters too. It's legit endless fun. But how come it isn't number 1? Well, number 1 should be obvious. Number 1 is probably the greatest game series to ever exist. Without this game, all other Toys to Life games would never do as well as they do. Number 1 is Ellie's Enchanted Garden for $19.99 for the PC. This game gives you a handful of figures to sing and dance to in the garden with a few activities like jump rope and hide and seek. The detail of these figures with the 3 different levels involved in the game make the replay value huge and makes you want to keep playing to give every character a fair chance. Also, if you don't main bingo and play as Lily instead, don't at me because you're wrong.
And that does it for my top 5. Ellie's Enchanted Garden. I have so many vivid memories with that game growing up. There's no other Toys to Life game out there that has affected me so much in my entire life than Ellie's Enchanted Garden. I feel like I could do multiple hours with multiple videos of that on the channel. I could talk about it for like 8 years straight. I even feel like I could sit down and do an hour-long video discussing Ellie's Enchanted Garden. I'm so excited about it. I want to collect all the figures. I'm only missing maybe like a couple variants and stuff. Did I say Ellie's Enchanted Garden? I meant Skylanders. Happy April Fool's Day. Hey, if you didn't realize today is April 1st and I wanted to prank you guys with a little prank. I thought this one might actually work because it was a normal Saturday. It's a normal video. You're just like top 5 toys for life. You're like, he's going to do Skylanders is number 1. I even hype it up, you know? So I hope I got you with this one. I think this one was a pretty good April Fool's video. If I got you, let me know in the comments below. But Ellie's Enchanted Garden, though, not bad. I actually looked at a video of it, the little cute little figurines. It literally was one of the first ever Toys of Life games, so I thought I wanted to have something very obscure as number 1, but Ellie's Enchanted Garden. Shout out to Ellie's Enchanted Garden. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you're not too upset. Obviously, Skylanders is the number 1 Toys of Life game. Come on now. But every other game on this list, besides for maybe Starlink, I absolutely loved playing. Well, Disney Infinity I didn't love either. I only loved like maybe 3 of them. And Ellie's Enchanted Garden. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Come back next week. Maybe next week for us. Well, there's going to be more videos in the week anyway. It's going to be top 5s and not top 5s, blocks and Heroic Mondays and all that stuff. Or Odyssey Half Hours. They still going? I don't know. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all very soon for another awesome video. Y'all mean the world to me, and I hope you have an awesome April Fool's Day. But as always, I bid you farewell. Okay, we're at the end of the marathon, but as you can see by the time Sam's still a nice chunk left, it's another longer video to end this off. A video I made only last year because I semi-retired was something I've wanted to do for a very long time. I've seen so many challenge videos on YouTube, and I've always wanted to attempt them, but I never felt like I gave them the correct time of day. It would have been something that, I would have just thrown together all sloppily and stuff, but inspired by one of my favorite YouTubers, My Dry Bread. I don't know if you know him. He does Pokemon challenge videos and Fallout and Skyrim challenges. I don't really watch those. I'm not a big fan of Fallout or Skyrim. But he makes these Pokemon challenge videos, and that's what inspired me to make these videos. Because if you don't know, I take a lot of my inspiration from other YouTubers, actually big YouTubers like Cultaholic. They're the ones who gave me the Every Ranked videos. Triple Jump, I reference them all the time when it comes to those. And of course now with My Dry Bread, who has the challenge videos. So this one was one that I wanted to try for a very long time, but I never really could attempt it until now because of my semi-retirement. And I felt like this one was not only really well put together, but really well edited. And I like the fact I gave myself the challenge of writing the script as I go, just like he does. And I feel like this is one of my favorite videos for that reason, is because you can see that with my semi-retirement, I cared more. I actually sat down and focused on the videos and worked on them harder and made better quality content for you guys. And that's why this is one of my favorite videos ever. So let's end out the marathon with the no damage challenge. Let's see if I can do it.
Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I'm Crash Rowsell, and it's once again time to CrashTheSkylands with this very special challenge video where I'm wondering if I can beat Skylanders Spyro's Adventure without taking any damage. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm putting myself up to the unique task of trying to complete Spyro's Adventure, a full game, without taking a single hit the entire time, whether it be with enemies or the environment. Now, it's the impossible, of course, but I feel like it is possible. I've had the many of abilities in my life to future predict what I think could happen, and this one, well, this could be a pretty big one. And I gotta say, I've questioned it before until now, but possibly I can make my dream a reality, so we're going to find out today. Now, there are some rules involved, so I will get right into them there now, so let's waste no more time and discuss the rules of this challenge. I pick one Skylander to use throughout the entire challenge. I cannot switch Skylanders in between levels, have to keep the same one the entire time. I will be pursuing through every level one at a time, and at any point if I'm either damaged by an enemy or the environment, that level is considered a fail, and I have to move on. No glitches or exploits allowed, every level has to be attempted fairly, and I'm also writing the script as I go, so I have no clue if I won or lost this challenge until the very end. The goal in each level is to make it to the end regardless of how I do it, unless I take damage at any point. Each level also only has one shot, so if I take damage, even in a dumb way, that's it. The level is considered a fail. Alright, so there we go. One Skylander allowed to be used the entire time in this series. And you know what? Thinking of what Skylar I'm going to use was the hardest part, because obviously most of you are going to assume I'm going to choose Bash. And yes, don't get me wrong, I love playing as that guy, but I feel like his close range attack puts me in harm's way more than it should, and his range attack is great, but I feel like I'd be probably getting hit a lot more than I need to. So I decided to go with Flame Slinger. The reason I chose Flame Slinger is because not only does he have an excellent range attack with those arrows he can shoot forward and lob forward, he also has the Fire Trail Sprint, where if I have an enemy trying to chase me down, or I can set up a terrain in front of me where if the enemies try to approach me, they can get taken out with the fire. So I feel like Flame Slinger is probably the best option for this game. There might be another option that might have been good, but for now, I'm going to choose Flame Slinger, so that's my choice. So as I did mention, I'm writing this script as I go, so I have no clue if I've actually beaten this challenge right now. So let me know in the comments below if you think I'm going to beat this or not, or just predict it ahead of time and then come back and edit your comment. I'm very excited to get into this, and keep in mind that I am taking this very seriously. So before you start thinking, oh, it's going to be a joke, he's probably going to get hit in all of them just for the fun of it, I'm trying to actually literally determine if this is possible. So keep that in mind, because, you know, as Skyland's greatest gamer, I think I'm actually going to do pretty well in this one. So we're going to get right into it and waste no more time and get right into the Shattered Islands. So we begin our journey here at the first level, and I don't think I could be more confident than I was in this level. There's a whopping 2 areas to fight basic chompies, so I wasn't worried at all throughout the level. However, there was a very close moment in the first fight where I turned the wrong way, and man, I almost lost it immediately. Thankfully, I'm the best, so I took them out, and the other set of enemies was even easier, making the first level a breeze and making my score 1-0. Okay, now this one was pretty easy also. The only part that I was a little nervous about was the 2 drow that drop down after you move the turtle out, but I took advantage of that and got one of them trapped. Thank Master Eon for the arrow lob attack, because that was the only way I took him out that easily. I did also remember that once you hop into the cannon at the end, the enemies just disappear. So now if you claim that that is an exploit, it isn't. The game does that, not me. So with another win, that now makes my run 2-0. So this is a level where I started doubting myself, if I could 100% this. But it is me, so I had some kind of confidence the whole time. However, this one couldn't have been more heartbreaking. I started off strong, especially with a very random drow that seems like he could immediately hit you even before you had the chance to swing back, but I luckily got past him. However, I had a plan where the turret section wouldn't count, and well, I made a dumb mistake right after that. Right after that, I approached the next area, and taking out the drow, I had no clue there was 2 others, and well, that was it. Taking a hit from an enemy, I had no clue it was even there. If I was recording my audio, you would have heard the biggest groan of all time, and also making my score 2-1. Oof. Okay, so this is my favorite level in this game, but it's also the first level that could cause me harm with the environmental damage, like with the spikes. Now, since I've done this level so many times, I know how to properly time the spikes, and a mix of long range and the drows and the spikes could cause some problems, which it did. Yeah, I still don't know how it happened, but I somehow stepped on a dang spike after it was down, and it hurt me. I still don't understand how that happened, but a tiny little mistake now makes my score 2-2. I'm actually disgusted at myself. So the only real challenge I saw myself here was the tank at the very end, because even with my arrow lobs, I could still easily get hit. So I start off very strong by taking out the troll grenaders with the lobs, and then turn my attention to focus on taking out so many enemies from behind. But one big issue was that Spellpunk. I had no clue what his ability was, and well, it was too late. He got a ton of damage on me while I was trying to lob at him. Like, coming to think about it, I should have just ran and took him out, and now the tank is the least of my worries because I'm now 2-3. So this is one I feel indifferent about. Darkwater Cove has a weird layout with weirder enemies, and I felt like I could get this one as long as I'm very careful. The Nautiloid mini guys have a really good charge attack, so I have to avoid them, and the Blastineers with range attacks could be worrying. However, I did exactly what I feared and made a simple mistake and somehow got stuck. It seems to be a running joke on this channel how much I get stuck in things during Spyro's Adventure, and today is no other. Yeah, it's like no other. Giving an easy hit to the Nautiloid, making me 2-4. This is not looking good. So this is the first level where you face off against Chaos's minions, and I know how difficult that battle is, but the whole Leviathan Lagoon level had me worried too. So coming into level 2-4, it had me worried, but man, I was very surprised how well I traversed this level. Very minor near misses from enemies aside, I decided like always that the turret sections don't count towards the actual level, so it made me way too happy that I actually made it to Chaos without getting hit. So during my first fight with Zap, I was shocked that I figured out his pattern and actually defeated him, but then came the sharks, and I knew I was done. One quick trap into the corner because I'm an idiot, and I'm now 2-5. However, I am extremely proud of myself during that level. Still can't believe I beat Zap. This is definitely one of my all-time favorite levels and has nothing to do with Diggs getting killed at the beginning. The Crystal Eye Castle has 3 big fights from each tower area, and I know my range attacks are going to do wonders. I played this level so much that I know where everyone comes out and where they go. However, my minor mistake of forgetting to take out an enemy before finishing a tower didn't hurt me. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. After 5 straight losses, I finally got myself a win using the greatest range attack of all time, just shooting arrows forward. I will gladly take my score 3-5. Let's continue. Alright, I'm riding my high from the last level. I feel like Stone Town should be fun. The biggest fight is right at the end, but the rest of the level is no slouch either. Luckily, the lob attack helped me a ton throughout this level, and I decided to keep back throughout most of the fights. Just, range attacking from far away. So, heading into the battle with the Stone Golem, I was confident with this fight, as it isn't the hardest, but it has some unpredictable stone throws. Which, sadly, is what happens. The battle was going extremely well, but that rogue throw right towards the end gave me one swift hit, and that's the game, sadly. I really wanted this one to work out, but I guess Eon had other plans, making my plan now 3-6. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what even happened here. This one was probably the worst experience I've ever had playing Skylanders, and I played the Griffin Park Observatory numerous times. I was going into this level ready to go, and then the Drow for some reason didn't do the bounce back move that every single other Drow does throughout my over 10 years of playing Spyro's Adventure, and then he somehow hit me, making my score 3-7. I'm very angry about this one. Let's move on, please. Another fight with Chaos's minions at the end, but the trek here isn't that bad. Luckily, the Aerolob helped me again, but tiny issues with the Saw Blade spinning and the Troll Grenaders could have made an issue for me, but I am the best Skylanders player ever, and it was a good adventure throughout the level, but the Chaos fight was looming on my mind the entire time. But I made it, and that's all that matters. Zook was my first fight, and with his range attack and his barrier, it could have caused an issue. Somehow, I kept getting around him, and I took him out. And then I took out the first set of the weird beetle things, which isn't really hard to begin with. Stealth Up was an easy go for me. Just move slightly to the left and easy win every time. Another beetle takeout in the battle with Stump Smash, who I somehow beat too. Don't know about that one. And then it comes to the final beetle fight. So this one is hard as heck. And I don't know how I did it. Even with a very close call, I beat them too. So I had one final fight left with the 3 minions again, and even though I know for a fact that Zook's Pineapple hit me right before I hit him, I actually freaking won. I can't believe it. I actually beat that level without getting hit. I beat all of Chaos's minions, and now I'm so excited to say I'm 4-7. Onward to the next level. I'm invincible now. So I was riding my high going into this level. I knew I was going to travel this level safely, like using the mix of range and thankfully getting a break in between with the puzzles. I was feeling pretty dang good up to this point. So I forgot about the gun snout throughout the level, so I played it safe. Moving back and forth when I could, I avoided everything he threw at me. Even the big battles with multiple trolls and the gun snout, I was doing so well throughout and collected all 4 map pieces until I ran straight into a rocket imp literally before the end of the level. What is actually wrong with me? All I know is that I'm now 4-8, and that doesn't look great. And neither does me screaming at the fact I was literally 1 teleporter away from winning this level. Hate myself. So I got hit here, but it took me a very long time to actually realize it, and then me going back to watch the clip to see where I got hit. I forgot there was a tank involved, so I got excited when I avoided him just to realize I got hit so far back by an enemy I didn't even know it was there. So if you watch, I threw a bomb at the barrier, somehow missed an enemy which got an easy hit on me, yet they normally get destroyed super easily with that bomb. I was really hoping this one would work out too because I was so confident after avoiding that tank, but oh well, we can't have it all, making me 4-9. This one just doesn't need words. Just watch. Yeah, I'm 4-10. There's nothing else I can say. So this one I knew would be complicated, but I decided to use the bombs to my advantage. I also have to remember the lob arrows to help me for a lot of enemies at a higher range. Luckily, the flame arrows do great damage to all the spider enemies, and the range will work great for the spiders who trap you like the Moon Widow. So knowing all that, and remembering there are spikes, and to wait until they're 100% down before I move, I got pushed into a spinning blade. Sounds about right when it comes to me. And now I'm 4-11. Oh well. So this one I remembered had zombies, and then I remembered fire takes them out easily. So this one I had some positivity going into it. I gave this one my all, knowing that what's coming next is way harder, and I approached this one head on. Starting out strong, but taking out the rhubarbs pretty easily, and staying back shooting down the skeletons, I got excited knowing I was on a roll. However, I felt nervous heading into the room where the undead spellpunk spawn with a bunch of rhubarbs, and he makes one supersized. And on the other side of the wall is 4 skeletons. However, as the best gamer ever, I tore through it. Until I got to the next room, which was smaller than the last, and I got sandwiched in. Yeah. Maybe next time, because I'm now 4-12. So this one has a chaos battle at the end, and the last time I did one of those, I somehow won. So, had a little bit of hope going into it. The level itself is something I don't fully remember though, as I kind of blocked this one from my mind ever since Cinder, the incident from the first ever Dragonlock, but I digress, this one should be interesting. One puzzle later, I somehow walked into a rogue arrow that was just kind of there. I don't know. I literally shook my head in pure sadness when that happened because I'm not so sure about this run anymore, making my score 4-13. I will keep my pure hatred of digs aside and keep the Molkin mind in my thoughts of how short this level is. I actually had hope with this one, but nothing prepared me for the pure cheese moves I would come up when I was in here. The trap machines inside the rocks never knew what hit them since they literally had no clue what was hitting them, aka my lob arrows from a far angle. I did do the dumb move of pushing the minecart all the way to the top when I needed to keep it to push digs out of the cave, but after finding the last Molkin, it somehow spawned digs to the very top, meaning I actually did it. My first win since beating Chaos's minions and the Fallen Forest, and I will gladly take it. 15-13, baby, we are back! Riding into the Lava Lakes Railway with the confidence galore, I immediately remembered that this had another chaos fight, and one of Chaos's minions is another Flameslinger, so I became unconfident right away. However, I felt like I could do myself justice and get myself to the fight and maybe somehow beat the minions after. The fire imps were a little worrisome in this level as the tunnels could get pretty small, which unfortunately came into play. After the third train run, the camera made me go backwards, ran me straight into a fire imp, and ended my winning streak, setting me back 5-14. I really should have recorded face cam for these clips because the pure regret on my face when I realized Quicksilver Vault was next made me almost vomit. The Archean Ultron is the hardest thing in this entire game, in my opinion. So coming into this, I knew that that would be a challenge, plus the entire level itself. I was feeling pretty unconfident. That is until I actually beat the Archean Ultron in the first part. Yes, there are others, but that first one made me feel that was the one that made me most worried. So I head through the teleporters. I was wildly confident. That is until I got to the Gnasher that somehow hit me as soon as I landed from the teleporter. I literally had no chance. Like, no chance. I feel robbed. I feel sad. But I'm now 5-15. 5-15. So, see, I'm so sad I came in to say I'm 5-15. I'm that sad. For the numerous times playing any lock ever in Spyro's Adventure, never once have I openly fought something I didn't fully need to. This level is exact reasoning for that idea. I knew once I got to the actual vault, I would just avoid everything if I could and if I had to, and, well, that's exactly what I did the entire time. Luckily, the two main enemies, the Ultron and the Defenders, they like to stop before they hit, so I can run around them and not take a single shot at them at all. And you know, the flame might actually damage them. So, for the entirety of this video, you're going to see me be the biggest coward and avoid everything I can. Complain all you want, the goal is to not get hit, and that's what the best way is, to run through everything and avoid everything. Now, you're wondering what part in this level I got hit at, right? Keep wondering, baby, because I'm now 6-15, baby. Cheesin' ain't easy. Alright, let's end this video on a high note and head into the Lair of Chaos. I made the decision that if I make it to Chaos that I would beat the level, as I think it's physically impossible to not get hit by Chaos during this battle. Prove me wrong if you must. You won't be seeing that attempt in this video, of course. And, yeah, watch this. I started the level, and when I used the teleporter, I got hit by a fire imp because I stopped while teleporting. Makes total sense. What an anticlimactic ending by yours truly, leaving my final total 6 wins, 16 losses at a 37.5% overall.
And that's it. At the end of the challenge, I ended up 6 wins, 16 losses. I mean, 6 wins is better than I thought I'd do, and I'm really mad at myself for certain levels. I mean, what was it? The Troll Warehouse, where I was literally one teleporter away from winning the level, and then of course the battlefield where I immediately got hit as soon as I walked out of the level. Same with the Lair of Chaos. Never stood a chance. But then some levels I was genuinely shocked about, like the Falling Forest. I don't know how I beat those minions. So I guess I can be good at the game sometimes, and honestly, sometimes it's just sheer luck. I mean, the Quicksilver Vault. Literally, I waltzed in and did great, and then of course when I land on the teleporter, I'm froze there and they hit me immediately, so I feel like I never had a chance then. But some of the levels were a lot easier than the others. Some of them I felt like if I give it a second chance, I think I'd do fine with it. But that was the way it goes. Is the video you saw was literally my one and only attempt that I had. So 6 out of 16, or no, not 6 out of 16, 6 out of 24. Because it's the whole thing. But yeah, I won 6 levels and I lost 16. So let me know in the comments below if you guys enjoy this, and let me know if you're going to attempt this challenge yourself and how well you did. And of course, if you want to see if you can take on challenge and Chaos and not get hit, let me know in the comments if you did that, and for some reason if you want to see me do it. I don't want to. I will see you for a very special video in the future, of course. Thank you all so much for watching. This video was a long one to make, but I think it was worth it in the end. And yes, I will be attempting these in the other 5 games in the future, so look forward to that. And I'm also going to attempt another different challenge in Sparrow's Adventure involving the treasure. So keep an eye out for that one in the future, so don't rip me off. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all very soon for another awesome video. Y'all mean the world to me. Don't ever forget it. Thank you, Flameslinger, for being the MVP of this series. Literally, he was the only player, the most valuable player, because he was the only one. But as always, I bid you farewell. And that does it for today's marathon. Don't worry, you still got another 7 videos coming to you this Friday. Friday's videos are going to be odd, just saying. It's the weird ones I like doing. But yes, these videos are unbelievably fun. I thank you all so much for the last 10 years, and I hope this walk down nostalgia lane was very good. I hope you got a kick out of the Top 5 Toys of Life video. That's one of my favorite ones for sure. But again, Eat Your Own Sheep Creep, still one of my favorite videos, if not my favorite video. I'm probably going to go watch that now while I wait for this video to sync up, just because that video was legitimately one of my favorites. I've even showed it to my parents, and they loved it. So, like, yeah, that's how I do. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you Friday for another marathon video, the last 7 of my favorite videos ever. Don't worry, all of my videos are my favorite, but some rank a little bit above. Ranking every Crash the Skylines video from worst to best. I'll do it. I won't. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you Friday for another awesome video. Y'all mean the world to me. Don't ever forget it. I'll be posting regular content again soon. Don't you worry. It's not just marathons anymore. I just like filling in the gaps, you know? But as always, I bid you farewell.